So Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan, and I finally got around to watching it. And I always say that's 3 hours of my life I'll never get back. But it's one of those things that you can't look away from, because whether we like it or not, Elon Musk is pretty much leading this country at this point. And so I feel like that we need to listen to every word that he has to say. And I know it's very frustrating at times, and it's extremely hard to follow his speech pattern at times. But I do believe that we have to listen to what it is that he has to say. And I was very interested to see what he would say, or if they would ever address his awkward hand gesture, or as we call it, the Nazi salute. And when it got around to that point in the conversation, they did exactly what I thought they would do. They blamed it on us, that we just saw something that wasn't really there. We would have to be very unreasonable to ever believe something like that. And then they found a way to twist it and blame it on Tim Walz. This is so ridiculous, but take a look.
It's absurd.
It's so crazy.
Well, it's deliberate propaganda. So that they know it was not. It was obviously not meant in a negative way. That I literally said, "My heart goes out to you," and it was very positive. The entire speech was very positive. I was being very enthusiastic about the future in space, and it was a great crowd. So
yeah, you got a little pumped up.
Yeah, it got pumped up, exactly.
Yeah, that's all it is. Obviously. There's video of Tim Walz doing the exact same thing. Right. Exact same thing, and he said, of course, it's a Nazi salute. He said that.
You know, I will never understand why Joe Rogan has so much hate for Tim Walz. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. He has had more conspiracy theorists and more bald-faced liars sit in front of him and spew their garbage, and he's allowed them to spew their garbage on his platform under the guise of, I just like having interesting conversations with these maniacs. And then every time Tim Walz farts in a bathtub, Joe Rogan is right there to have something to say about it. That guy lied about his military service. Cheer that guy. And that guy really did a salute. And then that guy said you did one. Let's take a look at what that guy did, because it's clearly not the same thing. I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's go ahead one more time. I'm going to play what Elon did, and then we're going to show what Joe Rogan is accusing Tim Walz of doing, and you see if the two is anywhere close to comparable. Take a look.
Here.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, I'm going to say it again. Elon clearly even put the grunt behind it. He put all of the emphasis behind it, and he did it twice, and Tim Walz is clearly waving to the audience. He's clearly waving to the audience, but they will go out there and they will find a picture of AOC waving to a crowd, and somebody probably will freeze frame this video of me waving to the crowd and say, look what they did. And it's absolute bullshit, and we see through it. And I especially seen through this next clip because, folks, yeah, according to Elon, in order to be a Nazi, you have to be invading Poland. Make this one make sense.
I just want to be clear. I am not a Nazi.
I think we covered it.
But that's exactly what a Nazi would say. Damn it.
Yeah, that's what an alien would say.
Yeah, this you can't escape this bullshit.
No, you can't escape it.
So
I don't think any reasonable person believes it. If they believe it, it's because they want to believe it.
No,
it's not because it's logical.
I mean, what's relevant about Nazis is are you invading Poland? Okay,
right.
And if you're not,
right.
if you're not invading Poland, maybe you're not.
Yeah,
you have to be committing genocide and starting wars. And
right.
if you're not, what is actually what is bad about Nazis? It wasn't their fashion sense or their mannerisms.
It was the Holocaust.
It was the war and genocide
yeah.
is what is the bad part.
Yeah.
Not their mannerisms and their dress code.
Okay, so let me get this straight. In order to be a Nazi, you have to be invading Poland. And it wasn't their fashion choices or their mannerisms that made them bad. It was the Holocaust. So it's okay to do that. It's okay to do those mannerisms. Those are okay. And you have to be invading Poland in order to be one. See, this is what separates Tim Walz from Elon Musk. Tim Walz is clearly waving to the people. And Tim Walz has no ties to the Nazi Party. He's not telling the Nazi Party to not be ashamed of their past. He's not sending all these dog whistles to the Nazi Party, and the Nazi Party sure as hell doesn't embrace the likes of Tim Walsh, but they sure got a hard on for Elon Musk, and they're so happy that he has gave them a microphone over on Twitter. And Joe Rogan actually said in the interview, I can't imagine what Twitter would be like today if you hadn't have bought it. I can't imagine the direction it was going if you hadn't have got a hold of it. I'm like, really? He got a hold of it and turned it into an absolute dumpster fire of misinformation and hate speech. He gave Nazis the microphone. And now he wants to sit there and say what makes you one is you invade Poland. No, what makes people raise their eyebrows is the people you embrace, the people you're tied to, the things that you've said that goes along with the salute that you did. And if you want to talk about people invading other countries, we saw Russia invade the sovereign nation of Ukraine. And Republicans finds a way to bully and make fun and demean and mock our ally in President Zelensky. So they have not one leg to stand on in this argument. You know what you didn't hear during that whole 3 hours? You didn't hear him condemn white supremacy. You didn't hear him come right out and call it out. You never heard him come out and really double down and say, listen, if anybody out there is taking what I did as a dog whistle, fuck you. You didn't hear him say that. You never heard him say that. It was just they blamed it on us, that you can't escape it. You can't escape it. They're going to make this out of it. No. When you have ties to the people you have ties to, when you say and do the things that you do, and then you go on stage and you do that salute full-chested twice, we're going to call you out on it. And you can sit there and compare some dude waving to a crowd or find a freeze frame of someone with their hand in the air, and I'm always going to be here to call bullshit. And I'm going to say this about Joe Rogan, because I have in the past watched Joe Rogan. I've said it here on the channel. I used to be a fan. I used to tune into his show when he had interesting people on that I wanted to hear. I really enjoyed some of his conversations. I truly did. Really enjoyed the episode with Tom O'Neill, who wrote the Chaos book about Charles Manson. I really enjoyed the Dan Aykroyd episode where they talked about aliens. I really enjoyed the episodes with country singer Sturgill Simpson. Yes, I've watched Joe Rogan before. No, I don't think Joe Rogan is stupid. I don't. And a lot of people says he's stupid in hell. I don't think Joe Rogan's stupid. I think Joe Rogan is a grifter, and I learned that the hard way. He's sitting there in front of him, and I think he sees through it, but he's got the richest dude in the world, and he's trying to catch back up with Midas touch, and so he's willing to sit there and sell himself out. That's how I feel about the dude. Do I think he's like a mean-spirited person? Do I think he's even really a bad person? No, I just think he is a grifter, and there's nothing good about that, so maybe that does make him a bad person. But I'm just saying, I don't think he is as stupid as a lot of people likes to say that he is. I think he just got in on the grift and saw how easy it is to manipulate that audience. They're the most gullible group of people, because you can bring MAGA on your show and just let them sit there and spew horse shit and roll with it. You don't get to do that when you bring people from the opposite side of the aisle on, because they're going to ask questions, and they're going to make you step outside of your safe space. Meanwhile, they always accuse us of being in them, but they're the ones that never step out of them, including Elon Musk, who has yet to really face Congress. He just goes on Joe Rogan, stands next to Trump during interviews, stands next to Trump's cabinet during interviews, not wearing a suit, by the way, wearing a ridiculous trucker hat and a Tech Bros shirt on. And yeah, you'll never hear him ask him where his suit is.